Shabbat Shalom. My name is Sharon Brown Goldstein, and I will be leading our Shabbat services this evening. Rabbi Judy wants you to know that she is in good health. She's taking a few well-deserved days of rest for herself on the Cape. She sends her good wishes to you, and I know we all wish her a restful Shabbat and weekend. We begin with the candle blessing. And as I light these lights, I beckon, welcoming in Shabbat joy, Shabbat holiness, Shabbat peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we begin with a kavanah. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English, or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Let's sing a song about how good it is to come together, even virtually, as one family. Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And we continue on page 4 with Lechu Niranana. Lechu Niranana, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Lechu Niranana Ladonai, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Lechu Niranana Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Nekad Mafana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Bismirot Naria Lo. Lechu Niranana, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Lechu Niranana Ladonai, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Lechu Niranana Ladonai, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Niranana, Lechu Lechu Niranana Ladonai, Lechu Niranana. We turn to page 5 for Psalm 96, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash in the English. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory from day to day. Recount among the nations God's glory, among all the peoples God's wonders. For great is Adonai, and most deserving of praise, to be held in awe above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before the One. Strength and beauty are in the sanctuary. Give to Adonai, O families of the peoples. Give to Adonai glory and power. Give to Adonai the glory due thy name. An offering and enter God's courts. Bow down to Adonai in the majesty of holiness. Tremble before God, all the land. Say among the nations, Adonai rules. Firmly established is the world. It cannot be shaken. Adonai judges the people with uprightness. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and everything in it. Then shall all the trees of the woods sing out before Adonai when you come to judge the earth. You will judge the world with righteousness and the peoples with divine faithfulness. And we continue on page 9 by singing Psalm 29, Havu Ladonai. Mismar LeDavid, Havu Ladonai B'Nelim, Havu Ladonai Kadvot Va'oz, Havu Ladonai Kivot Shemo, Hishtachavu Ladonai B'Hadrat Kodesh. Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai Hamayim Rabim. Kol Adonai Bakach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Harazim, Vaishaper Adonai et Arze Halvanon. Vayarkidem kmo egel, Levanon v'Sirion, kemo ven re'emim. Kol Adonai chotzev lavodesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yicholel ayalot. Vayechasof yarot uveichalo, kulo omer kavod. Adonai lama bu yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. And we continue on page 11 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor achad, Hishmiya המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתפילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי ברך קומי אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תעריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And we continue on the English on the right hand of page 13. It is good to give thanks to the Eternal and to sing praise to the great name, to tell about your love in the morning and your faithfulness every night, with the 10-stringed harp and the lute in song and meditation. For I delight in your world, source of joy, in your deeds, in the works of your hands. How great are your designs, Creator! They are beyond our comprehension. The foolish do not perceive this. The shallow cannot understand. Though the wicked flourish like the weeds, though they spring up like grass, they will be cut down. For you shine on high forever. Behold, your enemies shall perish. The evil ones will fall apart. You lift me. You increase my strength like the wild ram. I am fragrant with oil. I have seen the defeat of my enemies and heard the doom of my attackers. And we continue at the top of page 14. Tzadikata mar yifrach ke'erez balvanon yizker ישנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו. And the Chatzi Kaddish is on the next page. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah Be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uv'yamechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Bakala uvizman kariv v'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olamu me'amaya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Tamiran behoma v'imeru Amen. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Noach. After the story of the flood that everyone's familiar with, comes the story of the Tower of Babel. And here it is. All the earth had the same language and the same words. And as they migrated from the east, they came upon a valley in the land of Shinar and settled there. They said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and burn them hard." Bricks served them as stone, and bitumen served them as mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build us a city, and a tower with its top in the sky, to make a name for ourselves, else we shall be scattered all over the world." God came down to look at the city and tower that man had built. And God said, "If as one people with one language for all, this is how they have begun to act, then nothing that they may propose to do will be out of their reach. Let us then go down and confound their speech there, so that they shall not understand one another's speech." Thus God scattered them from there over the face of the whole earth, and they stopped building the city. That's why the city is called Babel, because there God confounded the speech of the whole earth, and from there God scattered them over the face of the whole earth. What's wrong with the people working together towards such a lofty goal? For one thing, the Torah has just expounded in detail how after the flood the descendants of Noah spread across the earth and settled with their clans, their tongues, in their lands and their nations. In this context, it cannot be all the earth that is settling in the land of Shinar, but a specific group. Perhaps the desire for a city with a tower that reaches the sky so they can make a name for themselves has something to do with rising above their neighbors. And about that tower, step 1 was making the bricks. Step 2 was deciding what to do with those bricks. That doesn't seem right. I'm pretty sure one designs the project and then selects the material. I have no knowledge of civil engineering, but I do know that a tower that scrapes the sky needs to have a certain amount of sway to it. Otherwise, those desert winds will cause bricks to pop out of their tar frames and fall down on the streets below. As with the Hancock Tower in 1970s Boston, so with the Tower of Babel. Flexibility is important. When God confounds the speech of those tower builders and scatters them across the earth, what is the message that we should take away? Perhaps God is suggesting that their priorities were misplaced. These people found a valley in which to live. Presumably, it was a good valley with water and vegetation. They set about making bricks. But instead of using bricks to build homes and schools, shops and stables, they built a tower. And because of the single-mindedness of this pursuit, their rigidity, they built it straight up. And so the bricks fell. I think the lesson has to do with the idea of the same language and the same words, in contrast to the image of the children of Noah, with their clans, their tongues, in their lands and their nations. The Torah spends 32 verses listing the descendants of Noah, the places they inhabited, and the nations they founded. The story of the tower takes just 9 verses and ends with the people scattered. It seems that we are meant to see diversity of language as natural and good. We are not told that the numerous tribes lived together as one happy family. Ancient Israelites readers of the story would have recognized the names of enemy peoples among those of allies. Why should multiple languages be better than one? Language is an expression of culture. A word in one language can have different shades of meaning from the equivalent word in another. To understand more than one language is to view the world from another angle. Today, in our country, we have a primary language, English, and yet more and more our understanding is confounded. We exist in towers which view the landscape very differently from one another. We even use our common language to signal our differences. In this election season, may we find ways to bridge these towers and view the landscape from new angles. May we use our bricks to shore up one another's dwellings and to build a stronger foundation for our democracy. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Please rise in body and spirit as we continue on page 16 with the call to prayer. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe. Your word brings on evenings. With wisdom you open heaven's gates. With understanding you change fixed times and alternate the seasons, and arrange the stars in their places in the sky, according to your will. Creator of day and night, rolling light before darkness and darkness before light, you cause day to pass and bring on night, and distinguish between day and night. God of all forces is your name. God, living and enduring, always rule over us forever and ever. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evenings. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah mitzvot chukim umishpatim otanu limadeta Hakein Adonai בשוכבנו וקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. And on page 18, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Page 19. If you listen to my commandments and do them, the rain that falls on your fields will also fall in your lives, enabling everything to grow. Your fields will be fruitful and your animals will be fruitful, and you will be fruitful in body and spirit. But if you turn away from my commandments, then you will also turn away from my rain. You will no longer be aware of this blessing and its source, so that for you, the rain will no longer exist. Your fields will no longer be fruitful, and your lives will no longer bear fruit. Listen to my commandments, be mindful of my blessings, and inherit the promises I made to your ancestors, of fields rich with my bounty, of lives rich with my presence. And on page 20, the fourth line down, Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. And Mi Chamocha is on page 21. Bailim Adonai, mi kamocha netar b'kodesh. No tehilot osefele, no tehilot osefele. Malechutecha ra'u fanecha b'kei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zelianu ve'amru Adonai imloch Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifata Adonai et Yaakov u'kalo miad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. On page 22. Lay us down, Adonai our God, in peace, and awaken us, our ruler, to life, and spread over us your sukkah of peace, and help us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us and remove from us enemy, disease, and sword, and hunger and sorrow, and remove the evil forces from before us and from behind us, and in the shadow of your wings shelter us. For God, you watch over us and rescue us. For God, you are a gracious and merciful ruler. Watch over our going and coming, for life and for peace from now until forever, and spread over us your sukkah of peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, the one who spreads a sukkah of peace over us and over all your people Israel and over Jerusalem. Ufiros aleinu sukat, sukat shilomecha. Ufiros aleinu sukat, sukat shilomecha. Yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, 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 yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, lai, yalai, lai, 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 lai. Ufiros aleinu sukat, sukat shilomecha. Ufiros aleinu sukat, sukat shilomecha. Please rise in spirit or in body as we continue, as we sing Vishamru, and then continue on to the Amidah. We are beginning on page 23 and then chanting pages 25 through 27. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. B'nivim b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Adonai sefatai tiftachu v'yaki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lima'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Hozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ufokei Tzara. Atagi por leolam Adonai, Mechaye kol chayat harav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hakashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye kol chay berachamim rabim, Samech noflim v'rofer cholim, Umatir hasurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'gevurot, Umito melech, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atal hachayot kol chai, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayi kol chai. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha salah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. And we continue silently to page 31. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. A prayer for caregivers. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Physicians and nurses and orderlies, technicians and home health aides, EMTs and pharmacists who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. And as we prepare to recite the Mishaberach, I want to mention first by name Joan Weiss, Martin Oppenheimer's sister, and Chaya Bat Nechama. Let's also take a moment to bring to mind friends and family members who are in need of healing. And we read in English on page 130. May the one who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal the ailing, those whom we hold in our hearts. May the blessed Holy One show them mercy, heal them and make them well, strengthen them and give them life, and send them speedily a complete healing, healing of soul, healing of body, soon and in the near future, and let us say, Amen. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Beira Imotenu Mekor Habracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We continue on page 41 with the Aleinu. Please rise in spirit or in body as you are able. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגר עלינו כהמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבת לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. And as we prepare to recite the Mourner's Kaddish, we note with sorrow the recent passing in California of Judy Silver's brother, Tevye Moshe ben Hershleib Vigittel. May his memory be a blessing. We pause to think also of those loved ones who have died within the past year or at this season in years past. And if it is your custom, please rise in spirit or in body as we continue on page 44. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalef v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Tomorrow morning, the Shabbat morning service will be broadcast on channel 918 at 10 a.m. On Wednesday at 11 a.m., the Torah study group will be live streamed on Zoom and broadcast on channel 918. Rabbi Judy encourages you to participate in the live Zoom if you can. Next Friday night, October 30th at 6:15, Rabbi Judy will be hosting a communal Shabbat dinner on Zoom with breakout rooms for smaller group conversations. This will not be broadcast on channel 918. A Zoom link will be sent out in a separate email on Friday. And we continue with a closing song, Adon Olam, which is on page 48. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nifra le'id nasa v'chefsa kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiflot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu yeh b'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lahamshilo lehachbira v'li reshit v'li tachlit v'lo haz v'hamizrach v'lo haz v'hamizrach v'hu eli v'chai gali v'tzur chavli v'yitzara v'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi b'yom ekra menat kosi b'yom ekra v'yado apki ruchi v'eitishan v'ha'ira v'im ruchi giviati Adonai li v'lo ira Adonai li v'lo ira. Please join me in the Kiddush on page 52. Vayer vayivoker yom hashishi vayichulu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher hasa וישבות ביום השישי שביעי מקום מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בשבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים. And the Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone.